Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are doing Essentials of Quranic Arabic, Volume 1. This will be from Lesson 1 onwards. We are going to record now. It starts from here, acknowledgements, foreword, preface. All of you have to read this. Now, the first session has this acknowledgements, foreword, preface, and the history of Arabic grammar. Up until here, you all need to read it out in detail. The Lesson 1 link will be uploaded in some time. That I have just explained in brief all this part. So your task is read it all in detail, and if there are any questions, you can message in the group. We will now start from here, from lesson 1. Then we will do lesson 2. Lesson 3 is already there, so the last where we stopped, after that we will continue from there. So I'm not going to repeat the ones which are already done, but I will send the link in order so that if there are any new people who need to revise, you can do it in the particular order. So inshallah, we will begin with lesson 1, which is Introduction to Arabic Grammar. In Arabic, the word which is word, W-O-R-D, word, is known as kalima, al-kalima. Now, the plural of this is kalam, which is speech. And Quran is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our intention for learning Arabic is to understand the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to understand the Quran, so that we can implement it in our daily lives. So that, inshallah, should be the intention for all of us, and each time you need to keep renewing this intention. So to understand speech, now what is speech? Speech is whatever is spoken. It is made up of a lot of sentences, and a sentence is a combination of various words. So first, what we need to do is to understand a word. When you understand a word, you will understand the meaning when two words are joined, more words are joined, and that's how you will understand the meaning of a sentence. Once you understand meanings of the sentences in Arabic, inshallah, you will be able to understand the speech. So this is what is our main focus for learning grammar. Ali radiallahu anh, he said, speech is made of nouns, verbs, and particles. Nouns are names of things, verbs provide information, and particles complete the meaning. This is, in summary, what you need to know to learn to understand speech. Speech, what scholars have said, that how did they make out these rules of grammar? How did they understand that what is what? So they said that by tadabbur, they went and they pondered, they read and read and read, and then they saw that the speech, it first split into two parts. This word kalima, it split into two parts, and then it split again. That means total a kalima is divided into three parts. Divided in the sense, if you want to understand a word, if you want to categorize that, what does this word mean, what does this word mean? So if you have buckets in front of you for various categories of words, and you need to take out a word from a sentence and put it into its respective categories, in total you will have just three categories: nouns, verbs, and particles. So speech is made up of just only these three words. There are some words which are nouns, some words which are verbs, some words which are particles. When you join all of them, the result is a sentence which forms speech. So if you want to understand speech, what is your target? You should understand each of these in detail. You should know everything about nouns, you should know everything about verbs, and you should know everything about particles. Now, Ali radiallahu anh, he had said to one of the scholars during his time, Abu al-Aswad ad-Duali, rahimahullah, that follow this approach. He gave him this part, that speech is divided into these three things. So you follow this and add to it whatever comes to your mind. And same way, we also will start, inshallah, beginning with this base, that speech has three parts to it: nouns, verbs, and particles. Now, every word is of course made up of various alphabets. For any language, when you want to learn, you should know its alphabets. So alphabets I am not going to teach, because the prerequisite to knowing this is to know these alphabets. So we won't do this in detail, but here all the alphabets are listed down from alif, that's the first alphabet, alif, to ya. You need to add one more here, which is hamza. So you can say mim, noon, waw, hamza, and ya. Now, each of these alphabets, each alphabet is very unique. It has a different sound. None of these is similar. Like, for example, Sad and Seen, they're completely different. Now, why we need to know that is because any change in the alphabet, because in Arabic there is something which is known as a root letter concept, which is not there in any other language. You have root letters, mainly three roots are what is very common. Four or five is very, very rare. So you will have, like, for example, if I pick up any three alphabets, Sin, Ta, and Ain, these three roots will have a meaning. So instead of that, if I said Sin, Ta, and Ain. If I say Sad, Ta, and Ain, I replace the Sin with Sad. This is completely different root. So it has a completely different meaning altogether. So each letter, since its pronunciation is very unique, why when you recite it, if I'm reciting Sin, I will know the root letter is this and it has a certain meaning. But if I recite it with the sound of Sad, the whole meaning will change. So this knowing the pronunciation of the alphabets is known as tajweed. Tajweed is another branch of science, like how grammar is. Like that, there is something called as tajweed, in which the sounds, how to recite each alphabet, the various, there are different other rules of recitation for Quran as well. So all those are what is studied under tajweed. So these sounds of these alphabets, now what are alphabets, what are Arabic alphabets? They are actually a pictorial representation of a sound. And what is that sound? That sound is dependent on a particular place in your mouth. So that from that particular place, whichever sound comes, that is this pictorial representation, that it is this alphabet, that alphabet. So the place from where a particular sound is coming, that place is called makhraj, the point of exit of that sound. So each of these letters have a specific makhraj, except alif. Alif does not have a sound. In Arabic, alif does not have a sound. You do not have any sound for alif except when you use it in the case of a mad. Like for example, if you see here at the end of noon, fatha, and alif, it's na, two counts. So that fatha is getting extended with that alif, which is known as a mad. There are other places for grammatical reasons you do write alif, that we will see inshallah later. But as regards sound, because even those which are written grammatically, they are not pronounced. So alif, you are not going to pronounce, you don't have a sound. That is why I told you add an alphabet over here called hamza, because you would tell me that there is alif and then there is fatha on top of it, and I say I put a kasra and I say e, I put a dhamma and I say u. Whenever you see this, now whenever we are going to refer to Quran or the script, it would be Usmani script, not Indo-Pak version, not Persian script. Why? Because there are some rules which you can find only in Usmani script. That's the actual written part. It is written according to the grammar, according to the tajweed rules. Everything is there in the written style. Now, so whenever you look at alif in the Usmani script, it will not have a haraka over here. If you see, it will not have an haraka. When it has an haraka, it is not alif, because alif, fatha, a, you cannot pronounce alif. So you have to put a hamza over there, because that is hamza, fatha, a. Alif is just the chair that it will use to sit. Who will use? Hamza will use. So it will be hamza, fatha, a, hamza, kasra, e, and hamza, dhamma, u. Alif will only appear in the form of amad. Any queries in between, you can just raise your hands or put a chat box or just unmute your mic and just ask, okay? Or my WhatsApp as well is on. So if you're not able to type anything or something, you can just leave a message here on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so that is why you need to know a difference. Alif is a different alphabet and Hamza is a different alphabet. There are some more things during the course of study we will know about these two alphabets. Here there is an example given of two words. Like over here the word is qalb with a qaf. Qalb in Arabic means a heart. Qalbun means a heart. Instead of saying qalbun, now here the difference, okay? Qalbun and kalbun. Qalbun, kalbun. Both are different. First what I said is this, qalbun with a qaf. Qalbun. The next what I said is kalbun. When I say kalbun, it is with a kaf, it means a dog. So it's a completely different word. So you need to be very careful while reciting the alphabets. Another thing, it's not only the alphabets, even these differences, the second one which I'm telling you right now, this inshallah later on, like when you're somewhere mid of the course, you will understand why this difference happens. Like for example, why we should not do this, what difference does it make in the meaning. So when you have studied enough Arabic, all these you will come to know that how the meaning changes. Now this word here is ja'alna, noon, fatha, na. It's just one count and you stop there. This means the women made. Ja'ala, these three alphabets, jim, ain, lam. Ja'ala means to make, in general, to make. Ja'ala. Ja'alna means the women made. But instead of saying this, if I just increase the fatha slightly and I say ja'alna, now here it's not ja'alna, it's ja'alna. So this na, when I extend it, it means it has an alif over there. That sound difference also means an alphabet difference. So ja'alna, it means it has an alif at the end, and the meaning of that is not the same. It does not mean the women made. It means we made. Ja'alna, the women made. Ja'alna, we made. That na means us, we. Ja'alna, we made. So that is why even the count of the haraka, because the haraka itself has a meaning, the counts have a meaning. Instead of saying a fatha, if I say a kasra or a dhamma, again, that has a different meaning altogether. So you should be very careful about the alphabets, the sounds, and the haraka. Now, by knowing tajweed, you will also come to know the difference between seen, sad, and tha. Like you would ask that, how do I know that? What is the sound of sad? What is the sound of seen? What is the sound of tha? This you will come to know by studying tajweed. There is difference between all these three alphabets. Even these dhal, dha, and za. Za, dha, and dhal. All these three also have a difference in the sound. Same thing with qaf and kaf, which we just saw. That also has a difference. Now here, if you see that in the footnote, they have given a resource for learning tajweed. You can use that if you wish, or if you need some other resources, I will send on WhatsApp if anyone wants. Same is the case with hamza and ain. When you say a'udhu, it's a, which is hamza, and u is ain. Both are different alphabets, so the sound has to be different. Same goes for ha, the small ha, and ha. Like alhamdu, that is ha. You cannot say alhamdu. Alhamdu is this small ha. You should not say like that. It should be alhamdu, because both are different and different meanings. Now, this vowels and diacritical marks is what is the next topic. This is something that is not there in any other language. If you see in Arabic, the written script, if I just say this alphabet ha, I have three ways to recite it. I can say ha, hi, or hu. Three ways. So these three ways, how do I understand? If I just put ha, how do you know how to recite it? You will not then recite it. You will just read out the alphabet ha. That is why in the beginning, if you see the second surah, for example, Surah Al-Baqarah, at the beginning, what is written? It's written Alif Lam Mim. If you open the Mus'haf and see, there is no haraka on top of it. That is why you don't say Alam or Alamu or Alima. No, you will recite the alphabet Alif, Lam, Mim. You will say it like this. Why? Because there is no haraka there. What does haraka mean then? Haraka are some signs which are also known as vowel sounds, because it has the three vowel sounds a, e, and u. So they are also known as vowel signs. They are written on top or below the alphabet. These two, the first one, which is adamma, it looks like this, adamma. This has a sound of u. It's very short, 1 second, u. This is the sound of fatha, a, and this is the sound of kasra, e. These two, first two, u and a, dhamma and fatha, are written above the alphabet. So that is why you can see here the line. This will denote the alphabet. Kasra is written below the alphabet. Now this denotes the movement of your lips. If you see a straight line above the alphabet, you will move your lips up, a. If you see a circle on top of the alphabet like this one, you will move your lips also in a circle. You will say u. If you see a line below the alphabet, your lips will also go below flat. It will be E. Apart from this, there is another thing called as a sukoon, which is this one. In the Musaf, it won't appear as a circle. It will appear like the head of ha cut off. Like, for example, if you just see this one, ha, it will appear exactly like this, but very tiny. That is ha. It's actually kha cut off, khalin, or empty. Or you can say khafif, which is light. It doesn't have a haraka. This is the opposite of haraka. Haraka literally means movement, and sukoon means a stop or peace. So like staying somewhere, not peace in the sense of that way, but peace in the sense there is no movement, it's a stop. So haraka is movement, whereas sukoon is no movement, it's the opposite. So you have to do a sukoon, you have to do a stop. And in Arabic, you cannot recite two sukoon, consecutive sukoon together. Why? Like, for example, I will tell you how to pronounce a sukoon. Like, this alphabet is ta. If it had a fatha, I will say ta. If it had a dhamma, I'll say tu. If it has a kasra, I'll say ti. But when it has a sukoon, I cannot recite it. I need help. You have to go one letter behind, one alphabet behind, which is here lam fatha la. This one here, lam fatha la, and then ta sukoon. So I will say let. So that's how sukoon will sound. So if I was sukoon here, and again here's another sukoon, lam sukoon. You see this alif here, with a small circle kind of, it's a head of sod on top. This you do not pronounce unless you start on it. So when I say qalat, and over here is lam sukoon, I cannot join it. Because lam sukoon, as I told you, sukoon you cannot recite, you need help. You need a haraka before it to join. Whereas here, if you see before, there is no haraka, there is a sukoon before it all as well. So in this case, what is done is, to get a flow between these words, a kasra is usually added between these. So this qalat and i'rabu, this is read as qalatil i'rabu. So the word actually is qalat. Whereas when you will see, it will be written as qalati. That kasra is coming just so that you can join these words and make a flow. Qalatil, sorry, it's a hamza. Qalatil a'rabu. Apart from this, there is something called tanween. Tanween is nothing but double of the haraka, double fatha, double kasra, double dhamma. The sound is same with the n at the end. It's an, in, and un. Shadda. Shadda is doubling of the letter. So like at any point, like if ta has a shadda on top, it will be recited first with a sukoon and then second with whichever haraka it has. So that is why it is two haraka. First with, sorry, it's two alphabets. First with a sukoon and second with a haraka. Now here, there is something which we left out here. You remember I said qalatil a'rabu. Here there was one alif with the head of sad. That is what we'll be doing here. And also the part where I told you the alif and hamza are completely different alphabets. Inshallah, here after this topic, I will end at the end with this ta marbuta. The next class we will start from here, the Arabic word. So I will complete till there. Alif is pronounced only when it starts a sentence or if it is present directly after a pause within a sentence. What does this mean? This means when it starts a sentence, which is this one over here, it will not be empty. If alif has to be pronounced, it will not be empty. Empty alif just as is, like for example over here, as is. This alif over here is a word separator. This tells you this word has finished here. Udkhulu, this word finishes here and the next one is a new word. Fi is a new word. So if you see this alif is empty, or if it comes as a mud like ayyuha, you see the ha at the end, that is alif. But this one here, which is in red color, you see it has a head of sad. Why? Because when you're going to start at this word starts with dal sukoon. Can you pronounce sukoon? What did I just tell you? You cannot pronounce a sukoon. So you need help. So what do? This alif here is just added for help to recite the word. So when I'm going to start on this word, udkhulu is what I will say. So this is known as a hamza, but this is not an actual hamza. Here the alphabet hamza was not forming part of the word. It's not an actual hamza, so it is called hamzatul wasl. Wasl means to join. Wasl means to join. So that wasl, sad from there, the head of sad is written on top of it, so that you know that this will be a hamza, but hamzatul wasl, it will be used only for joining the word, only when you are going to start on it. But for example, it comes in the middle, like for example over here, if I start on this word, I say as-silmi. I will say that hamza also, as-silmi. But when I'm going to recite from behind, udkhulu fis-silmi, then that hamzatul wasl, it goes away. Because that now I have the help of fi. I can join the sin sukoon Remember shadda, it has two alphabets. First one is a sukun. So fisilmi, I can join it now. So I don't need that hamzatul wasl for reciting the word. So a hamza is different, alif is different. This is hamzatul wasl. Hamza, again, you have two types, which is the actual alphabet hamza, and this one here is hamzatul wasl. Actual hamza will either come as is, the as is letter hamza, or as I told you, alif will be its chair. Like here, ayyuha. You see there is a hamza, but it is on top of alif. So alif here is its chair. Sometimes its chair can be a ya. But when ya is its chair, you will not have dots on the ya because it's not the letter ya anymore. It's alphabet hamza. So you have to recite a, u, e. It can even come on top of a wow. So all these three mud letters, alif, waw, and ya, these three can be the chair for hamza, or it will come alone on its own. All of those will be hamza. This one is hamzatul wasl. You will recite only when you're going to start on it. In the middle, it will lose its identity. And here, this alif as is, yeah. So this alif is only for mad. So you have alif and you have hamza. In hamza, you have two parts, hamzatul wasl and hamzatul asl. Asl means asli or real, the actual hamza. Sorry. Yeah, this is the next page. So here in the above example, it's explained now. Those examples which they have given, they explain where alif is pronounced, where it is silent. So here, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Now here, see the amanu, the last alif, this is silent. You just recite noon, dhamma, and wow. Nu. That last alif will be silent. Okay. Same thing here. If you see Surah Al-Fatiha, now I told you not to use the Persian script or Indo-Pak script. If you open that and see, Alhamdu, the alif will have a fatha there. Now what happens is, in case you want to recite along with the basmala to join, there are different types of recitation. So when you say the basmala before the surah, you have an option to join it to the first ayah of the surah. So if you read it in the Persian script, you won't be able to, because it will be Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, which is wrong. You cannot do that because there alif fatha as written. You will tend to do it that way. If you want to join, what happens? Alif will not be pronounced here. Alif meaning this is Hamzatul Wasl. Now I will not call it alif. When you see this, I will call it Hamzatul Wasl. You cannot recite the Hamzatul Wasl if you're joining. So it will be Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. It will join. So you need to recite from the Uthmani script, because this is just one case I'm telling you. There may be many more. Actually, to make the recitation easier, they have added wherever you have to say with a fatha, they've added a fatha. Because this Hamzatul Wasl, there is no sign. You can read it with any sign, right? With a fatha, kasra, dhamma. So how do you know which one? So based on which one is that, they have written it over there, which is actually not the proper way to do it. So you have to read it from the Uthmani script, because it is written according to the rules of grammar, according to the rules of tajweed. All these signs written in that, they have a lot of meaning. So please refer to the Uthmani script only, the Madani print, the Madina Musaf. Okay, and here are the faces of Hamza. You can either see it on a ya, this one, bari un. It's un, it's not ya anymore, it's un. You see the ya does not have the dots as well. This one is on top of wow, ru'u sun. So it's u, it's Hamza dhamma wow u. It's not a wow. This first wow is not a wow, it's a Hamza, because it has Hamza on top of it. So that is just the seat or the chair. So bari'un, ru'usun, sa'ala. Now here again Hamza, here alif is the chair. Sa'ala. Okay. Now the last two parts for today. Difference between ta and ta marbuta. Both of them are ta. Marbuta means, rabata means to tie. It is from the root rabata, means to tie. Marbuta means something which is tied up. So this ta, okay, if I just take both the ends and tie it, it becomes like this, and the dots move up. So that is why this is known as ta marbuta, closed ta. Now a closed ta will only come at the end of a word. It cannot come anywhere in between, whereas this ta can come anywhere, in the beginning, in the middle, at the end. But ta marbuta comes only at the end. Now another thing to know the difference between these is, whenever you recite in Arabic, like for example, let's take this only, the above one. Ru'usun is the word. But when I recite the word or any ayah, when you recite, it is the rule of Arabic to make the last haraka into sukoon, only for recitation purposes. So you will say ru'us, you will make the scene a sukoon. So when you say the ta, this normal ta, when you say with sukoon, it will be at, it, or ut, it will be ta. But when you stop on a ta marbuta, when you stop on this closed ta, you will not stop with the ta sukoon. You're going to recite as if it is a ha. Like for example, we saw the word kalimat. Kalimatun, this in our topic. Okay, it will be there in the next page. Here, this word. Al-kalima. Al-kalimatu is the word. But when I stop, I don't say al-kalimat. I will say al-kalimah. I will stop with a small ha. I will recite it with a ha sukoon, this ha. Al-kalimah. Okay. And tashkil means these vowel signs, the diacritical marks. Most classical okay, this is just a notification. It's going to end anyways. We're going to end the class now. So most classical texts, they do not have tashkil. They don't have these signs. As I told you, if I just give you ha, you don't know how to recite it. But when you know grammar, there are a lot of things where, you know, the haraka, you will be able to understand which haraka comes here, how am I supposed to recite the word. So when you know grammar, a lot of classical text and even hadith, a lot of things you will be able to recite them without the tashkil as well. Tashkil means those signs, the haraka, the markings, fatha, kasra, dhamma, all that is known as tashkil. Quran and hadith, however, if you'll see, Quran will have haraka. Most of the hadith books will have haraka. So, of course, with grammar, you need to know vocabulary, because vocabulary is the build-up of words. You need to know words to recite, to know. And for Quran reading, generally, you need a naskhi musaf. Naskhi means the one with the tashkil and the Madina print. So you're going to use the Madina print. Don't refer to the Persian script. This is what I've already told you, because in Arabic, you need to understand differences between Hamza, Alif and all. There are a lot of meaning differences, which you can only learn well when you're referring to a Madina Mus'haf. Okay. So that inshallah we will stop here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Till the time this meeting is on, because it's going to end, we had a 10 minutes notification. There is a limitation of 40 minutes per class. So in this app, which is Zoom. So the class is going to end. Till then, if you have any queries, you can unmute your mic, you can speak up, you can type, you can chat. The next class, we are going to continue from here, which is the second part to it, the Arabic word. I will be uploading this so that all have access to it in case anyone has missed the class or need to revise. I'm stopping the recording here. You can keep asking your questions. I'm here till the meeting's ending. We have around 8 minutes now. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.